Welcome, wonderful people, to the Sunday rune and card reading. It seems very, very fitting as today, in fact, almost right now, we have the full moon eclipse in Capricorn. Now, I thought it was really fitting to tune the energy of these readings into the different phases of the moon. I am up literally at the crack of dawn in order to do this in alignment with that moon phase. It felt really appropriate to do so. As always, for those of you who are new to my readings, as always with the Sunday readings, there is a PDF handout with the extra information and guidance in it. If you check out the information box below, you can join the email list to receive this information. Basically, I send out one email every week with the extra information, usually after the reading. Today, I will be uploading it onto the website and sending out the email as soon as the reading's completed. Once you join that email, you'll also have a link to a page with the PDF downloads that you can access at any time, not just for the readings, but also for any of the webinars that I do. We've been doing a series of webinars where we've been looking at the working with the tarot, working with oracle cards, working with runes. There's a whole PDF handout with all the meanings of the runes, different layouts of cards, all sorts of stuff there. So if you are wanting to get that, do please check out that information box below. And of course, also for those of you that wish to be in the draw for to potentially win a free private reading or a pack of the Art of Manifestation oracle cards, the link is also below. If you subscribe and join that list, you'll be in the draw, and I'm going to be announcing the winners for June literally in the next couple of days. So watch this space, wonderful people. Now, the energy this week, reading number one is going to be guided by the solar eclipse energy. Now, a solar eclipse always takes place at a new moon. Eclipses are kind of like, it's like a new moon on steroids, I always think. So reading number one is associated with the energy of new beginnings, of setting intentions, of our dreams, wishes, desires. Reading number two will be guided by the energy of the lunar eclipse. That's where we are today. I always think with a full moon eclipse, a lunar eclipse, it's as though, I think it's as though the moon, she travels through the month gathering the energy of the sun, and then she redistributes it to the earth in varying quantities. And at the full moon, she is ready to illuminate for us, to show us things. And so we will see things that are working for us, that are amazing insights, new insights, new awareness, but we will also sometimes see things that aren't working, and the purpose of that is so that we can let go, that we can move forwards, we can course correct, we can adjust. So the lunar eclipse, in some ways, it has a flavour of beginnings about it as well, because beginnings are always there. When we create a shift, we create a new opportunity, a new beginning. But it's also about releasing the old. So very interesting energy around. Reading number three will be governed by the void of course moon. Now, the void of course moon is effectively as the moon travels through her 28-day cycle, or thereabouts, she passes through each of the signs, and sometimes she moves directly from one sign to the next, and sometimes there's like a pause in between, a gap of time, and that's the void of course energy. Interestingly enough, I've really noticed in my observations about, noticing how the void of course affects me and affects people that I've worked with when we're working with manifesting with the energy of the moon. I've noticed it affects us all very, very differently. Sometimes it can really offer us a space of creativity where, the energy of the moon isn't being channeled through any particular sort of personality of a sign. And yet for some people, if they're going through a difficult time, it can leave them feeling a bit wobbly and a bit out at sea. So it does affect people differently. All of that information in more detail is in this handout. And I actually took the information from the Art of Manifestation Astro-Moon diary as well. There's a lot of information in this diary, along with, to be fair, I don't suppose anybody would want to be buying a new diary at this time of year, but there are journaling pages alongside alongside the normal diary dates. I use the diary specifically to to kind of make notes so that I can see where the moon is and which personality she's working through, whether she's void, and actually, you know, how that's affecting me. It's really, really helped to sharpen my ability to manifest with those cycles. So let me put the handout away, and we will now draw the cards and the runes. Okay, wonderful people. So we're going to draw from one of the tarot packs first. Very lovely colours here. The amethyst energy is extraordinary and really tuning in beautifully with the colouring of the cards just seems to be really striking today. Okay, so we'll just do one, I think, from that pack. And now we'll use a different tarot as well, I think. More than one pack of tarot cards today. Okay, I think we will now draw, from a last tarot, the last pack of the tarot, before we move into some oracle cards of some sort. I'm rather inclined actually to use some astrology cards as we are tuning into the energy of the moon. Sometimes I douse the cards beforehand. Other times, today, I'm just feeling in a really spontaneous space with this. Okay. Yeah, so astrology cards next, I think. You may, as I'm actually bringing these cards out, you may find yourself, let's move those down a little bit more, you may find yourself particularly drawn to one reading already, in which case, go with that. Sometimes we can be drawn to more than one. So again, go with that, go with whatever feels right for you. I personally find that sometimes more than one reading will be speaking to me. Gosh, there's quite a lot of glare from the camera here as well. I'll actually switch that light off, I think, before we actually do the reading. Okay, so and of course, lastly and very importantly, we will be drawing our runes. Okay. And I'm hearing 2 today. Okay, wonderful people. So I will pause the video for a moment, adjust the cards and the runes, lay them out so that they're slightly more tidy, and then we will just sit with our intuition for a few moments. So wonderful people, we have reading number 1, reading number 2 and reading number 3, and hopefully we've now removed the glare on the cards, because that wouldn't be good as we're doing the readings. Sit with your intuition, tune in, see where you're at with this. You may find yourself wanting to pause the video for a moment. The timings of all of the readings are in the information box below, so you'll be able to fast forward to whichever one is speaking to you, or indeed to more than one if you find that more than one is reaching out. Wonderful people, I will see you in the readings. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 1. Let's look at our runes first. So we have the rune of separation, but it's in reverse. Well, not but, it is in reverse. And we have the rune of standstill. This is interesting because this would suggest that maybe something is, well, the rune of separation, it's kind of like we've outgrown something. We're shedding a skin. Now remember, this is the energy of new beginnings, new opportunities, and the rune of ice, of standstill, tends to suggest that something isn't moving forwards. With this in reverse, it may be that there is something that is needing to be let go of. A phase, an attitude, a thinking pattern. We'll see what the cards show us, but that there is a little bit of a struggle around that. Let's have a look and see what the cards are showing us. So cycles of the moon, and it's okay not to be okay. We have Chiron, healing energy. Okay, so we have 2 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, and 4 of Swords. Wow, 2 4s and a 2. Let's put Chiron up here in terms of the healing energy. We'll place, I think, the solar eclipse picture here and put these here. Okay, so this is very, very relevant given that we are looking really today at working with the cycles of the moon, and here we have exactly this card. This card says, this card invites you to attune yourself with the rhythms of the moon. Notice how the phases of the moon affect your energy and learn to use these energetic shifts within you to enhance your capacity to be consciously co-creative in all aspects of your life. Now this is, they're interesting cards given the nature of these readings. The runes are suggesting that something is needing to be let go of. You're outgrowing something. Now it may be that you're not quite ready to let it go yet. Either that, or you want to let go of something and something is kind of blocking you from doing that. This reading is an invitation to, I want to say, take your time over this. Okay, it's curious that we have swords, we have cups, we have pentacles. So there's no leaning to one area of life. There's no leaning towards it being a relationship. There's no leaning towards it being some aspect of your thinking patterns. It's kind of almost all of them are thought about here. What I do see in the 2 here is that there is going to be a move forwards. So the 4 of Swords invites contemplation, it invites meditation, it invites us to consider what we need to do thoughtfully before proceeding. The 4 of Cups is wonderful because it suggests, it's like an emotional flow, an outpouring of some sort. Now, it's a very positive outpouring of emotion. Very interesting that we sit here with this card, it's okay not to be okay. Now, when we feel low or we have challenging emotions, we often then feel bad about feeling bad. This effectively doubles our emotional load. So let me just say a little bit about this card. If you are anxious, for example, we often then start to feel anxious about the fact that we feel anxious. You know, sometimes if we're angry, we then get frustrated with ourselves for feeling that way, and so kind of emotions can sort of like fuel each other, and they can get bigger and bigger. The way that we feel about the way that we're feeling literally can double our emotional load, particularly with challenging feelings. It's perfectly okay to feel wonderful about feeling good. You can double that one, that's cool. But you know, sometimes we really need to begin to identify that our feelings are telling us something. What I hear with this this rune of separation in reverse, there's something in your situation. Now, for some of you, it could be a thinking pattern. For some of you, it could be love, relationship. For some, it could be money. But I feel as though there is an opportunity to shift this. If we think about the extraordinary energy of today, the full moon eclipse in Capricorn, we can take real pragmatic action, you know, wonderful pragmatic Capricorn energy, taking action to actually change something. And this is about changing something to create a new beginning. It's changing something that brings about a healing. The energy of Chiron is very much around us all at the moment in terms of bringing about healing for humanity, you know, for us as individuals, but also for the collective. So what this reading is really saying to you is take your time and contemplate. If you're able to meditate into the energy of the eclipse today, that would be amazing. When we are in eclipse season, it's also like a bit of a portal, really. Things can change very quickly. The universe can create openings for us. But we have to kind of be in a space where we're available to see those openings as they are shown to us. Take time to contemplate. Something in your world, I think, is calling for you to let it go. Get clear about it first. Take your time. You don't have to rush. The energy is with you. You may feel that there needs to be a bit of an emotional outpouring. This card is really simply saying your feelings are guidance. They are highlighting that something needs to change and that you are entitled to seek support in this. Okay, so absolutely allow yourselves to listen to your feelings, listen to your emotions, and recognize that they're giving you information. And if you need to find somebody to talk to, please do so. The 4 is a flow of emotion, and therefore the energy of our emotions begins to work with us. Tune in with the cycles of the moon. Really listen to how the full moon is affecting you today. Listen to the energy of the moon. I mean, by all means, even though it's a bit late in the year, you might want to consider, you know, checking out the Astro-Moon diary. This will show you where the moon is at literally every day, so that you can really begin to align yourself with that energy and learn to harness the energy, so you'll know when to move forwards, you'll know when to ease off and meditate, you'll know when to take action. That's the key really to working, I think, with the cycles of the moon. Whatever your situation, it's ready to move forwards. The 2 is really telling me this. The 2 is always for me, we have that raw burst of energy from the ace. The 2s are then actually showing us what it is that we need to do in order to take something forwards. There is a healing that's needed here. What I'm going to do is just play a little bit with the energy, as I do in readings sometimes. I'm still sitting here in awe of this amethyst, which is interesting that I was really drawn to use amethyst literally for every reading today, to have that energy, because amethyst literally connects us to the divine. It connects us to that higher guidance that we are all able to attune to if we can sort of get our ego and our head out of the way, as it were. So I would really be encouraging you, meditate today. Something is asking to leave your world, and check in with the phases of the moon so that you kind of know when to take action to initiate that. The letting go is part of the healing. That's what I'm hearing. Playing with the energy. If you listen to your feelings, if you think about it, I don't know, if we had a child in the room and they were distressed, if we ignore them, their distress will get bigger. If we listen to them and we sit down and just listen to what they're feeling and ask them to talk about their feelings, the volume will immediately turn down, and we will then be able to support them in finding a way forwards. So I feel there's something of that flavour around that is needing to be done to yourself, if this is the reading you're drawn to. When you listen, this energy shifts. So let me just pause, sit with where you are. Consider what it would be like for somebody to sit and really listen to you. Consider that you can listen to you. Your feelings are valuable. And see what that feels like. See if the energy shifts. Now, I've literally felt an energy shift. This means that the ice melts, the thaw comes, and everything starts to move forwards. There is an indication here that everything will move forwards. You know, your situation will be healed and a new beginning will emerge. There is a need right now for contemplation, meditation, reflection, and allowing your emotions to flow so that you listen to them. That's very much the energy that's around here. It's really okay not to feel okay, because actually those feelings are speaking to you. And then, as I said, if you're able to, check in with the cycles of the moon. This is very much a time of illumination. This card, it's not really a card, but the energy runes are speaking out over here all by themselves, chuntering away. Don't know if you heard that. But yeah, the energy of the solar eclipse. This is about creating new beginnings. That's what this reading is about. A new beginning, a new phase of life is needed, and something is needing to be let go of. In reverse, this rune Othilla simply suggests that there is either a blockage around that, but actually that energy can be shifted through listening, contemplation and listening to your feelings. Just even acknowledging your feelings will shift the energy and allow something to move forwards, and I think guidance will come to you. Wonderful, wonderful people. So much love to you. And yeah, do check out the July. I've just uploaded a whole load of full moon July readings for the first part of July. So do check those out. There's one for every sign. Wonderful people, namaste. Welcome to reading number 2. Let's look at our runes. So we have the rune of gateway and we have the rune of movement. Okay, there's a lot of energy in this reading already coming through. A lot of energy, a lot of movement, literally. Actually, the rune of gateway is about reflection, but it's a big epic stepping through and into something. The rune of movement, the gathering of energy, the gathering of momentum in some way. Let's look at our cards before we dive into anything. Say yes and bless your past. We have Mercury Mind, very interesting because Mercury is in retrograde at the moment. We have the card of the Devil. We have the card of the Fool. Wow, no wonder there's energy. And we have the card of the Star. Goodness me, no wonder there is some energy packing out of this reading. I'm not surprised. I'm kind of tuning in with it before we've even started. So this is very, very powerful, especially when you think of this is where we are today. We are in a lunar eclipse, a full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn. With Mercury in retrograde, this is so attuned to the astrology of today, it's unbelievable. So let's look at our cards. First of all, the Star. The Star for me is a star of, it's hope, refound optimism, but it's curious. It's like, if you have a look in this picture, she's opened Pandora's box. All this stuff is coming out, but because she's opened it, she can see clearly, and so she refines hope. Now, to my mind, that's so in tune with the eclipse energy, really, of a full moon. This is hope, optimism, new beginnings. The Fool really says, you know, actually this is an opportunity. You have an opportunity here for new beginnings. You also have an opportunity for a new beginning in terms of really being yourself, following your own guidance, trusting your own mind. We have say yes and we have blessed your past. So I want to say an opportunity is presenting itself to you. That's what this reading is really speaking of. It's opportunities. I think I may have said when I was in the very beginning of the reading, you know, we have to, if we're learning to work with the energy, the cycles of the moon, you know, the universe can present us with any number of opportunities, but we have to walk through those doors and we have to be aware of the fact that those doorways are being opened for us. Mercury in retrograde is so typically an energy that slows us down, causes us to have delays, but those delays are providential. They are helping us to see, you know, where we're going, what we're doing. So they give us new direction, new insights, new wisdom. They allow us, you know, the full moon allows us to see clearly. Now, let's tune in with the runes. So the rune of gateway, if you can imagine that you have climbed to the top of a mountain, you are looking back over the entire history of your life. You are evaluating every step of the way, all the things that led you to be where you are today, who you are today. And for me, this rune speaks of gratitude, because if we lean into a space of gratitude where we are looking back and we can say, do you know what? I've learned from that experience. Even that really challenging time, I learned from it. It gave me something really valuable. It enabled me to become the person I am today. It's kind of like we become whole, and we then step through the gateway. And so this is it's like we're free of the past, which is also what this card is saying. The rune of movement is the bettering of any situation. It's something is gathering momentum. There is definitely opportunity around you. There's renewed hope, definitely opportunity for some kind of new beginning. Bless your past. Let's just look at this lineup, the devil and bless your past here. So a useful tool to help us to let go of any emotional residue that is still clinging to us from a past experience is to bless your past. This is what the rune of Gateway also offers. Whenever the memory of an event or person comes to mind, pause and say to yourself, I bless every aspect of my past and I celebrate the contribution that it gave me in becoming the person that I am today. It's just almost like a ritual. If we think again of rituals as we can associate rituals, particularly letting go rituals, with the full moon. Really good time to be letting go of stuff. And again, you can use amethyst tips as well to actually help you to cut cords, which is also what the devil card speaks of. This is an amazing energy opportunity for new beginnings here. New opportunities being offered to you. Say yes. What are you waiting for? The answer to your question is yes. Everything here it's like the universe has your back. What you do need to do is to free yourself of anything that is holding you back. The devil always, for me, speaks of liberation. Now, that's a very contemporary way of looking at it. In some packs, the devil speaks of addictions. It speaks of being chained to something. It speaks of things that we are ashamed of. But, all of those things, if you're ashamed of something, or you have an addiction, whether it's a substance or whether it's a thinking pattern, as soon as we identify those things, we can cut those cords. We have a choice, and this reading is all about choice. It's about new opportunities, it's about new beginnings. The vibrancy here is phenomenal. So wonderful people. Something may still be clinging. It almost feels as though this is just a little, like a reminder. If something pops up, it's almost like a pop-up. I think those sort of memories, things that surface from the past, they're like pop-ups on a computer screen. They come up unexpectedly. Something will have pressed a button and it takes you back to some situation. For me, they are always situations where I didn't have a voice, or I wished afterwards that I'd done something differently. Actually, if you get one of those pop-ups, just kind of choose to delete it, bless it, say thank you. That situation taught me a lot. Thank you so much. Namaste. That's wonderful. I bless my past, and then you switch that pop-up off. Just literally imagine in your mind there's a little X. Click on that, it's gone. And every time something resurfaces, if you get into the habit of working with that, you'll find that you shift the energy of past stuff really, really quite quickly. It moves on. We don't get tangled in thinking patterns around it. Again, use your mind to be consciously in charge of that process. Everything is ready and right for you guys for a new beginning. And I want to say, a new beginning of your dreams, of the things that you've been hoping for, your desires. This is always the bettering of any situation. So the energy is gathering momentum. I feel like the universe seriously has your back. Pretty, pretty awesome and wonderful. So, fabulous, fabulous people. Yeah. Bless your past, say yes. Whatever opportunity is being offered to you at the moment, it's an opportunity, I think, worthy of investigation, worthy of taking that risk. Liberate yourself from the past. Liberate yourself, be yourself, be your authentic self, be you. Don't be held back by the chains and of the perceptions of other people or the expectations of other people. Wonderful, wonderful people. So much love to you. I have uploaded readings for July, big readings for the full moon, that are covering the next couple of weeks for every sign. So do check those out. So much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 3. We have the rune of wholeness, and we have the rune of joy in reverse. That's interesting. It would suggest maybe your vision is clouded by a little bit of fog. Now this is fascinating, tuning into the energy of the void of course moon, because as I was saying earlier in the preparation, the void of course moon, I've really noticed that it affects people differently, and certainly depending on what's happening in your world. Sometimes it can just feel like we are a bit under fog, we're a bit out at sea. At other times that space, as it were, can feel, as I said, a little bit overwhelming, but at other times it can actually feel like it is a space of profound creativity. So this is interesting because the rune of wholeness is the path you must follow. The rune of joy would suggest that there's some fog or a lack of clarity around that. We'll see what we can do to shift that energy during the reading. So worth the wait and imperfection are our two Art of Manifestation cards. We have Mercury in retrograde, which is exactly where Mercury is. I'm stunned at the way these readings are so tuned into the astrology. I mean, the synchronicity, I know I shouldn't be stunned because it happens all the time, but it always blows me away if I'm truly honest. We have the Six of Cups. We have the card of defeat. There's some despondency around. And we have the Five of Wands. Okay, so let's tune in with this. There's a little bit of despondency. What I'm hearing is there's been a delay. Something has been delayed in your world at the moment. It's worth the wait. There's going to be a positive outcome, or that's what this reading is suggesting. But right now, something is delayed, and it's feeling as though there's a challenge involved. I want to say you're not alone. There's energy around you to support you. The pathway you're on is the right one. That's what this rune is indicating. Now, I'm going to read imperfection. In our goal-driven world, we seek to blame whenever things do not run smoothly, and yet it is our imperfections that make our human lives the perfect vessel for the evolution of the soul. Strive to be the best you can be, cherish your mistakes and those of others, and honour the learning to be found in every experience. I always think our mistakes, it's like they're the cutting edge of our evolution, they really are. And so I think you're actually on the right pathway. This rune is really speaking clearly, and I'm kind of being shown a pathway. It's quite interesting as my hand went up. That's literally what I'm seeing. It's like it's wavering a bit and then it goes straight again. So you are on the right pathway. It's just that there are some challenges here that you're needing to sort out. The concern here is that it's feeling a bit overwhelming for some of you guys. It's feeling as though stuff just is going wrong. That's the Mercury retrograde energy. Now, if we look at there's always a higher level energy and a lower level energy with any incoming planetary influence. And for me, the key to understanding any aspect of astrology is being able to, it gives me an overview. My sister, who's an astrologer, always says it's like a roadmap. When you can stand back and look at that roadmap, it gives us the opportunity to work out the higher level energy and work out how we use that, how we tune into it. So you are on the right path. The challenges that you're facing at the moment are that they'll actually be showing you something. Okay, and there is the potential, although you may feel a bit fogged at the moment, there is actually a potential for creative solutions. You're being shown things. You're not being shown something because you know the energy's out to defeat you. There is a danger that this card doesn't actually say you're going to be defeated. It tends to speak of a concern around maybe having not a defeatist attitude, but you know when things just basically get you down. It's that flavour. Things aren't running smoothly. It's, you know, one thing after another, and you just think, oh, you know, if the pathway I'm on, if this relationship, this project, you know, this book I'm writing, whatever it is, this person, you know, this career pathway, whatever your pathway, when things start to go wrong, we begin to think, gosh, well, I'm obviously on the wrong pathway, because otherwise it would be running smoothly. You know, the universe would be working with me. actually you're just being shown things, and you're also being potentially shown things. Part of the lesson here is in learning some durability, some resilience. Don't be defeatist, because actually your pathway is the right one, and there's the promise of success here. You know, Six of Cups, there is you know, there's a sense of abundance, there's a sense of reward around this card, rewards coming. It's just that there is the road is winding. It's going to be moving straight again, and it will be worth the wait. Is something or someone not moving forwards as fast as you would like? This card is here to reassure you, hold fast, be patient. The best things in life are worth waiting for. We have about 2 more weeks of the Mercury retrograde energy. Really, if we think about, I think we come out of Mercury in retrograde around the 12th of July, and then we move into, we're in the shadow for a little while, but the energy will start to move forwards. I would say, look for the creative solution within the fog, okay? The duality of the void of course moon is really interesting. It can leave us feeling a bit out at sea, like we've lost our direction. Alternatively, if we press the pause button and recognise we're being shown signs, rather than looking outwardly and blaming, we can just think, okay, there's a bigger picture here. I'm needing to see something. I mean, I can say for myself, I've had a lot of Mercury retrograde stuff going on in the last week. There's been loads and loads of really interesting things that haven't run smoothly during this Mercury retrograde at all, which is not uncommon, but in quite a personal way, I've really realised I'm being shown certain things that I need. You know, I've literally being shown certain things that are highlighting an opportunity for me to make some very creative choices. You know, I've engaged with certain things, and I can see that maybe, you know, for example, you know, using a particular set of services from someone and discovering their customer services are really very poor. I'm probably not going to continue with them. I still need to go on the same course, I still need to be walking that pathway, but I probably need to find somebody who's going to deliver better customer services for me. Likewise, I've also come across some other organisations where their customer services have been outstanding. So I'm getting these contrasting experiences, and so I can see who I'm going to continue working with and aligning with and partnering with, and who I'm not. And even though it's frustrating and it's causing delays or has caused delays, it's illuminating things for me. And so if I sit in a space of creative thinking, I can use that illumination to bring me into the light. Now again, I'm going to do an energy shift while we're doing this reading. If we just think about what I've just said, problems that are shown to us, imperfections, help us to critique a situation, not to be critical, but to critique. You're on the right track. What you're doing is right. Hold fast, be patient. The best things in life are worth waiting for. There is a sense of harvest and reward here. But if we are feeling, you know, snowed under by it, instead of that, if we stand back and see that this is good information, instead of feeling that we're under a shroud of fog, okay, so sit with the shroud of fog for one moment. Now let's shift the energy. When we sit in a space of creativity, we're being given an opportunity to see clearly the pathway is right. Actually, what we're needing to do is understand how we're working with that in a creative way, making creative choices, yeah? So we move from fog to actually clarity. That's what this rune speaks of. Out of darkness into light, carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. Those challenges are irritating, difficult, sometimes for some of you even extremely challenging. But actually there's purpose, there's a bigger picture involved here, it's worth the wait, and wonderful people, you are on the right track. That is what we're being shown here. And rewards are being promised, the harvest is being promised. This is a lovely card for me, it speaks of abundance. So wonderful people, so much love to you. Do check out, I hope you felt the energy shift, I certainly did. I could relate to this reading myself actually, and I've uploaded big July full moon readings that cover the next 2-week period. I've done them for every single sign, do check those out. Wonderful people, so much love to you. Namaste.